Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans.
Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Ryan.
This is Jake.
This is Flerick.
This is Mac.
And this is our Midway episode for the Kyushu Basho. We have watched through day 8, so if you're not caught up with that, there's going to be a few spoilers there. And this Basho has been a little nuts. Reminds me of a quote from the iconic Marlon Brando in his role in Godfather. What?
Ah, yes.
Well said. Well said indeed.
Such a important cinematic moment.
Yes, exactly. The big news coming out of this one, obviously, is Kisei no Sato starting 0-4. Then Fuset on day 5 and pulled out since then.
Couldn't stay in one more day. Why?
Mac is upset that he didn't get the freebie Kinboshi point in our prediction series.
Am I mad? Am I mad?
Well, you're shaking with rage, so...
I'm calm. I'm good.
These games are doing bad stuff to you, Mac.
Shut up!
You're not the man you once were.
No.
The losses are finally getting to him. I don't think he can handle a 5th right now.
We'll see.
Pull yourself together, man.
I don't want to.
You have some time to get used to it.
Yeah, no kidding. But we do have a surprise leader for this Basho. We have Taka Keisho at 7-1, the only person that is at 7-1, and then we have a gaggle. I believe a group of Rikshi are referred to as a gaggle.
Works for me.
Yeah, we have a gaggle of 6 Rikshi with 6 wins. Ozeki Takayasu,
A mouthful?
a mouthful of Rikshi.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with gaggle.
Moving forward.
I'll think on this one.
Tochiozan at Maegashira 2, Abi at Maegashira 7, Daisho at Maegashira 9, Aoyama at Maegashira 12.
Future Yokozuna right there.
No,
yeah.
And Onosho at Maegashira 13. So besides Takayasu, nobody you'd really expect to be seeing leading this Basho. What do you guys think of the 7 and 6 win people so far?
I am all aboard the Taka Keisho hype train.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm going to shamelessly bandwagon right there. He has just now always been my favorite since I ever started watching sumo. But yeah, not only is he winning, but he is always in exciting matches. And I it's been pointed out a few times here, but like his weird countering reactive style is a lot of fun to watch.
It's the arm waving, isn't it? It's just the frantic arm thrust downs.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like, he does that thing where he'll create space and then he'll kind of like windmill a little bit. I mean, he's intending to...
No, it is.
He's intending to like slap down when somebody charges at him head first, but if they don't charge at him... But if they don't charge at him, he looks ridiculous. Oh, man. No, he's had some awesome matches to watch.
Yeah, and he does have some very emphatic slapdowns. I think it was Kisei no Sato on day 1 that was the most emphatic.
That was beautiful.
Yeah,
That was a fun match.
Yeah, one that you just like it was like
One
even
hand.
like through most of the time, but then one hand, they're just like a huge like super hard slap to the ground, and like I felt that. I was like, ooh, that was not
There
good.
was power behind that slap.
Yeah, so... Sorry, I got... Something came up on my phone
The
and
nostalgia.
distracted me.
No, Ryan,
Oh my
it was
God,
the
Ryan.
nostalgia of the match.
We're podcasting right now.
Yeah, I know.
Put down the football scores.
It's my dad's fault. So out of the gaggle of 6 Rikshi that we have at 6 wins, let's exclude Takayasu from this conversation so that everybody doesn't choose Takayasu.
Oh, man.
Why?
Which one do you think has the most staying power and most likely to hang on for the Juden show or challenge Taka Keisho for the U show?
So we're not talking about Takayasu at all, or just okay. So like of the second people,
Yeah.
Can we talk about Takayasu later?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
I just want to see, out of the 5 Maegashira ranks, who do you think has the best chance of taking it?
Only one of those guys is a future Yokozuna, in my opinion. I'm liking Aoyama, and only partially for sarcastic reasons, because he started off the Basho 0-2. He lost to Okinomi and Onosho. Both guys, which are doing pretty well right now.
Yes.
But either way, he lost to those 2 guys, and then he's had 6 straight wins. And not all of them have been like the prettiest sumo, but I don't know. I'm kind of impressed. He seems to be in good shape. He's had a lot of injuries recently, and it seems like he's coming out of that.
yeah, it seems like when he's healthy, like his like Supari of just like or Oshi pushing like attacks is just unstoppable, and he seems in form. and just winning tons of matches. Although this last match, he like actually grabbed the belt and like forced someone out.
I did see that. He did
that
have
was
a Yoda
super
Kitty.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Abi grabbing the belt.
Well, that hasn't happened yet.
Never.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna change the topic to someone else.
Oh, so was that?
Okay, good.
Okay, good.
Good. No, I was gonna mention Onosho in there as well.
That was not the one I was going to mention.
Oh, okay. Well,
Continue.
he's a little bit young, but like I can tell. This is probably more just kind of I am just a kind of a huge fan of this guy. I think I think when he's doing well, like he looks just very good. So I have a little faith that he might be able to stick it out and be able to get a junior show.
I've noticed he's kind of gone back to his go forward and have no plan B strategy.
Working so far.
It's certainly working so far. It worked, last year or earlier this year when he was getting those 10-5 records. But yeah, he's one of those guys that might run into some trouble when he gets up to the more talented ranks again. But either way, it's impressive at the rank he's at.
Yeah, he is a guy that I think kind of stumbles really when he shouldn't. Like earlier this morning, he lost to Meisei for his second loss. And so that's a little concerning, in my opinion, that he's dropping these matches against guys that he shouldn't. His two losses are Meisei and Takanosho. And so those are
that's a good
really
point.
two guys that
Yeah.
you should be beating. So that's my only concern with Onosho going forward. He hasn't won more than 10 in a Basho yet, and he always just seems to randomly drop some. So those are my only concerns. I love him, hoping he can get past that, but it still seems to be happening quite a bit. But let's talk about Takayasu a little bit. The one Ozeki that seems to be competing like an Ozeki. 6-2. I mean, he dropped one to Ryuden, which was a little surprising.
I
think
like that one.
Yeah,
But I like
Yeah.
Ryuden, so.
I think his match this morning, he looked the best that he had all Basho. He had a nice, strong Tachi-ai, pushed his opponent out, and won fairly easily. But what are your guys' thoughts overall on Takayasu?
I'd say like he's probably looking the strongest of all the Rikishi out there. Like when he's on, obviously he's not
More so than Takakeisho?
Yes, more so because Takakeisho is winning, but it's he definitely feels like it's kind of like some harder fought bouts. When Takayasu's on, like he just looks like really dominating Ozeki when he wins.
It's the level of control that Takayasu exhibits when he's actually doing his matches with Takakeisho. Like Fleric said, there's a little more franticism when he fights, a little more unpolished fighting style. But with Takayasu, granted, his shoulder blasts are quite amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like he has a lot more self-control and a lot more poise, and I think that's going to take him a lot farther.
He's not without weakness because I think his match against Ryuden was like one of those very long fought matches, one like at least a minute and a half or 2 minutes. I think stamina, like when it goes for very long matches, that's kind of his weak point.
Only thing I have to add, because I totally agree there, is franticism is an awesome word. I like
Is
that
it a
one, man.
word?
It is now, and I like it.
I like it.
Other than that, no, I totally agree. I'm liking Takayasu, and again, when he's healthy, he's, in my opinion, the closest to Yokozuna out of those three. The closest in caliber, but I don't think he's quite there yet.
All right, so we kind of
But in Basho with no Yokozuna,
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Basho with no Yokozuna, he's still not winning. So what does that say?
Oh.
So speaking of no Yokozuna, let's dive deep into Kisei no Sato, this Basho. He started, like I said, 0-4, lost to Takakeisho, Miyogiryu, Hokuto Fuji, and Tochiozan before the Fusen lost to Tamawashi on day 5.
That was the first time Ryan said Hokuto Fuji without saying Hokuto Mount Fuji.
Or my boy.
Or my boy.
It's been a while, yeah.
His accolades speak for themselves at this point.
One thing that it just kind of occurred to me when you were reading off who he lost to his credit, those are not terrible losses considering where those guys are at right now. Obviously, he's a Yokozuna and shouldn't be starting 0-4. But all
Right.
four of those guys are doing better than we expected.
Takakeisho 7-1, Hokuto Fuji is 5-3, Tochiozan is 6-2, Miyogiryu is 4-4. So nobody in there with a losing record. But Kisei did pull out day 5. He said that he ended up with an injury on his right knee after day 1. To quote him, I entered the meet in good condition, but sustained a new injury to my right knee on opening day. I went ahead and competed from the second day onwards, but I was in far from my best form, thus the withdrawal. I'm very sorry. I'm disappointed that I couldn't live up to the expectations. His Oyakata had told him that he could not continue in his current condition, so which is why he pulled out. He doesn't seem like he wanted to pull out. Once again, he said, I do want to put on a good performance again. I'll have to undergo medical tests on my knee. First, I have to heal the injury, then I'll think. My job is to do what it takes to get back on the dohyo. So it sounds like he definitely wants to come back. He doesn't want this to be the end of his career. We'll see what the Yokozuna Deliberation Council has to say about that, but just kind of based on their past dealings and how they've treated Kisei no Sato, I fully expect them to give him all the leeway in the world and allow him to continue until he's 48 and hasn't won a match in 5 years.
I think that's a bit crazy.
A little
Maybe
bit.
a
Yeah.
little.
No,
We don't exaggerate on this show.
Yeah. It will be interesting if it's like a knee injury that actually is something that like holds on to the next basho. Like if you can't come to next basho, I think he'll start thinking about maybe an end to your career. But otherwise, I think he's probably going to continue.
It was noted that he has been prescribed a month of treatment.
And I see that Ryan already put it in the notes exactly what I was going to say here because I do it every time. But the time frame for healing up is always in time for the next basho. Every single time.
Well, what do you know?
My arm fell off in training, but I should be better within about 6 weeks for the next basho.
It's also noted that Kisei no Sato has no intention to retire and wishes to return even for the Winter Jungyo. So, I mean, if he intends to return for the Winter Jungyo, it can't be that terrible of a knee injury, which, Mac, brings us to the point, is there actually a knee injury?
Well, clearly, there is no tape on his knees. Therefore, how can we rule that there is or is not an injury? It's a conspiracy, I tell you. Ikioi is my guide. There's no tape on that man's knees. He is not injured.
Faking it.
Clearly.
But did you see that takedown on day one? Like
I did.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if his knee got hurt there a little bit.
Just kind of smashed it against the ground or something?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like he went down to the ground like super
Takakesho
hard
just
force.
said no.
Pancaked him.
No.
But no, I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like all Ricks are a little bit injured, like
Yeah.
throughout any kind of basho. I doubt any of them are actually 100.
Oh, no,
100%.
I agree.
They probably all have the knee injury card in their deck that they can play at any time.
The trump card.
Yeah.
A Dr. Snow in the back pocket or back Mawashi.
Yeah. There you go.
I summoned Doctor's Note.
Yeah.
We did run a poll on our Twitter after, I think, day 3 or 4, like after Kisei no Sato started off 0-4, like, what do people think he should do? He could either go Kyujo, pull out, which is what he ended up doing, stay in, battle through it, see if he can manage to get a Kachikoshi, or retire Intai. And with about 50% of the vote, people were saying retire after that, and then it was about evenly split between Kyujo and stay in and try to fight it out. Obviously, we know what route he took, but popular opinion was time to retire.
Did
Hang
he
up the
reference our
Mawashi.
Twitter poll before he made his decision?
He did not. He must have just missed it on his Twitter feed. I'm sure once he listens to this episode, he will take it under consideration.
Yeah. I think retire is insane. He's still a talented Rikishi. Yes, he is a Yokozuna, like where he's supposed to be like getting just double-digit wins on everything he enters, but like he still wants to compete. Like he's still a talent. I think retiring now, just because like a 0-4 start's pretty bad, but like Jake mentioned, like the people he went against are people they're kind of hot this basho. They're doing extremely well.
That doesn't matter. He's a Yokozuna.
Well, I still think that is just I just kind of disagree with that kind of expectations in general. He should do pretty well, but I don't think retirement yet should be a thing until I guess his spirit has been broken. I don't think his spirit has been broken yet.
To me, I think that we're right on the edge of it needing to happen. I'm leaning slightly towards retirement, but I'm not like strongly on that side. I do think that he's still in that put up or shut up kind of phase, and this particular basho he did not do what he needed to do. The retirement talks were pretty heavy before that 10-5, but that 10-5 did earn him some time, but it certainly isn't going to earn him unlimited time.
The 0-4 start has to knock off quite a bit of time from whatever that 10-5 might have saved him. I think retirement definitely has to be on the table. You've missed all or some of the 8 previous Bashos before the 10-5, and then you come in as the only Yokozuna when there's a lot of pressure on you, and for whatever reason, you can't live up to that pressure, whether it's due to injury, whether it's due to mental thing, or whether it's due to his left arm not ever being healthy ever again. From what I can tell in the past, that doesn't matter to like the Yokozuna Deliberation Council and Sumo. If your body can't do it, if you mentally can't do it, if you're a Yokozuna, you have to step out. So based on their standards, I think a retirement recommendation should be incoming. I just don't see that happening because I do think they're holding on to their lone Japanese Yokozuna for as long as they can.
Not forgetting about the Yokozuna standards at the Yokozuna Deliberation Council. Like, what do you want to happen to Kiseno Sato?
That's tough. I don't have a close connection to Kiseno Sato because he was already Ozeki by the time we started watching, and I never latched onto him when we were watching. So
even during his Yokozuna movie run,
those like 3 or 4 Basho, if you put that into a movie, spectacular. Absolutely, no argument there.
For whatever reason, I never really cheered for Kiseno Sato when we started. So I
so you don't.
I'm
like
gonna get
you don't like the guy
for it. I don't really care that much about Kiseno Sato, Yokozuna or not.
Okay.
So if he retires, it's nothing. I mean, it's a good story for us to talk about on the podcast all the time. So hey, he can stick around, and we'll have plenty of things to talk about for a while. But I mean, just based on what a Yokozuna is and should be over the past 2 years, he hasn't been that. So I think he should retire.
Yeah, I come across it as him as just a talented Rikishi that's in the Sanyaku, and like he can compete with those guys up there. If he leaves, like that's a void that like we won't be getting.
It's a lot of talent that's gone.
Exactly, that's those matches we will not be getting. Granted,
we haven't been getting them for the past 2 years.
Oh,
the potential talent.
Yeah, the best 2 years.
Past 2 years.
Past 2 years? I think that might be a little bit too long. I think the last year or so.
His second Yusho win was March of last year. But yeah, more than a year now.
Generally speaking.
Yeah, I get. But I guess, granted, like he's not always there, but he's always there. But when he does come in, like he is a talented person. I want to see doing matches.
I would love to see him doing the matches, but I think at the level that we've established and what we've seen out of him, I personally would like him to retire because it is a story that we do have to talk about and spend so much time on every time, and the story isn't any different than it was like 6 months ago, really. The only difference is a 10-5 followed by a rough 0-4 showing. But to me, I think that it's time to consider retirement more strongly. And my own personal feelings are I would love some more parity in the top of that division. I think that we'll touch on this later, but there's a lot of guys who are nearing retirement, and I'm kind of excited for the Wild West atmosphere that will show up when the super dominant guys are gone.
Already kind of have that.
It seems like we're entering.
This year has kind of been a Wild West year.
Yeah, and I'm super excited by that, and I think holding on to a Yokozuna longer than his body is going to let him wrestle is going against that wish of like, and admittedly, that's completely personal. I would love for it to be the more, wild, unpredictable.
Yeah, I agree with your point where like a Yokozuna or a Rikishi hanging on longer than they're supposed to. I guess the difference between you and me is I still have some faith like he can pull it together and do pretty well.
And like I said, I'm like barely leaning that direction, but
yeah.
I am definitely starting to be of that opinion.
Okay.
What about you, Mac? Where do you stand on retire or keep going?
See, for me, Kiseno Sato is kind of a touchy subject. He was the first Ozeki that we saw get promoted to that Yokozuna level. So, and that was back when we were first starting to get into sumo. So, to me, Kiseno Sato has a little bit of a special place in my heart because that was it. That was the first time we recognized, hey, this is it. This is what you have to do to get to the level of Yokozuna. And
it was awesome.
It was amazing. And those first couple basho when he was a Yokozuna, phenomenal. Loved it. And then he got injured. And then it was like a major letdown. But you still had that hope that he was going to come back. You were praying, come on, heal. You can do this. You can come back. And then he didn't get surgery. And then just this whole cavalcade of issues just opened up for him. And now here we sit in Kyushu with 0-5. And I still hold out hope, like what Flarik said, is that maybe he'll come back. Maybe, but I think it's time to hang up the Mawashi.
Yeah, I think we're getting he had a little bit of backup quarterback syndrome where he's not here to lose, so everyone loves him, right?
Right.
And then he kind of gets put in the fourth quarter or something, and it's like, oh, well, he did okay for a little bit there, but maybe not. And so we're getting a bit of a reality check that he is still, he's not the caliber that he was when he got that Yokozuna promotion.
Yeah.
But that initial level from Ozeki into Yokozuna, that for me is going to be the standard for which I set all other Ozeki trying to get to.
Hell of a standard, isn't it?
But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what it takes to get up there.
Absolutely.
So for that, Kiseno Sato, you have a place in my heart.
Yeah, and whereas Flarik has faith that Kiseno Sato can get back to a high level of sumo, I don't think we are ever going to see Kiseno Sato at the level that he was when he was promoted, just due to the pectoral injury that he got. And so he might be able to come back and string together 8 to 10 wins for a few straight basho. I don't ever think he's going to be a threat again to win a Yusho. And so if you're a Yokozuna and you're probably not ever going to win another Yusho, probably time to hang it up.
Another part about that kind of sucks is he's always had that minor handicap of not needing to face Takayasu.
That has helped.
So that should be helping him, but yeah.
All right. Let's move on to some other guys. Ozeki run for Mitakayumi is still on the table. He's 5-3. He's probably got to run the table at this point. Maybe an 11-4
That's a tall order.
will be good enough, but
11 wins will put him at the 33.
But no Yokozuna wins.
Yep, that's true.
For this basho.
Just saying that's the target.
Yeah.
If he were aiming for 33 and that was the only qualification.
There's only one thing to do. He must win the Yusho.
It's going to be tough. He's
If he
already
gets
2
a Yusho,
behind.
Yeah, he'll definitely get it. Yeah.
Oh, what if the Yusho comes down to like 10-5? Or if it's 11-4 and he wins the Yusho, probably. But what if everybody sucks so hard? It's a
man.
10-5.
Everybody falls apart.
You mean there's so much parity and everyone?
No, that's too much.
That's too much parity.
The West is too wild.
So I think we're all in agreement here. Mitakayumi, Ozeki run, probably dead.
He'll have to do the sumo of his life to get it.
Yeah, and he's got all his
The
hardest
sumo of
matches
2
yet to
months
go.
ago.
Yes, 2 months ago.
His mom needs to
4
cheer
months ago.
even harder. Come on, you can do it.
Yeah, we need a little bit more Margarita, right?
Yeah, I think that was her name. Yeah.
Yeah, something at least close to that. We've got a couple of guys that are hurt or just not performing up to their regular level. We've got Kaisei, who had pulled out for the first couple of days, came back on day 3. He's got
just good enough to come in and beat Mitakayumi.
Yep, as is tradition.
just came in, made Mitakayumi call him daddy one more time.
I still couldn't believe that. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How?
That's 6-1. Kaisei has lost to Mitakayumi 1 time out of 7.
Yeah. When we're on like the streak thing, I know Tochinoshin has lost either 4 or 5 straight to Shodai, of all people.
I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, weird.
And then Tochiozan, I saw today, had a streak of 12. Who did he go up against today?
Tamawashi. He's beaten him 12 times in a
Tamawashi
row.
12 straight times.
Wow.
That reminds me of when Tochinoshin finally beat Hakuho. It's like, let that be a lesson to you. Nobody beats Tochinoshin 27 times in a row.
But yeah, so Kaisei's in there, clearly fighting injured, fighting for his Sanyaku life. Unfortunately, doesn't look like that's going to end up working out for him today. He went, 2-6 now, aggregated, had a loss to Hokuto Fuji today. Chio no Kuni, kind of disappointing some people on this podcast who predicted him to have a Kachikoshi.
People like Ryan, maybe?
People like Ryan. He's 2-6 as well, I believe. Got a note on here, says he's a new dad.
Yeah, that was on
congratulations.
Kintamiyama's feed. He had a note that Chio no Kuni has had a baby since his last basho.
All right.
Baby.
Well, congrats
Baby.
to Chio no Kuni.
1 baby.
Do better.
Do better at wrestling for
Yeah.
your baby.
For your baby. And Fleric, we've got Arawashi, 1-7.
Your boy.
Yeah.
Maegashira 16. Is he gonna win the last 7 to stick around in Makuuchi?
It does kind of feel like he's setting up for like the perfect moment of just to win completely out. But no, he looks like dog shit. Like he's not going to do it.
That is a fair point.
Yeah, like
That is my analysis as well.
I'm actually really worried. Like this, if he has like a couple more botches like this, he's out of Juryo. This isn't even good Juryo sumo.
Yeah, and you got to wonder if he's injured or what's going on there.
Oh, for sure. His leg.
Yeah.
He's hobbling and like hopping on one foot.
Because this was a guy maybe early this year, late last year. He was up in the zone of death for a few straight bashos.
Yeah, I think it was last Hatsu, the January basho, of where he got his couple kimboshis in my heart.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, a bit of health and a bit of luck, and he's a upper half of Megashira kind of guy.
for sure, but like this injury has kind of been lingering this whole entire year. So I don't know. I'm kind of worried for the guy.
Yeah. Some other people of note, Chiyo Tairyu had a really good start to the basho, 5-1. Still just very strong and impressive off the tachiai, blowing people up. He's kind of stumbled the past couple of days. He's 5-3 overall. He did just turn 30 on day 4, so maybe he's finally feeling his age.
Hey, what's wrong with that?
You're not 30 yet either, Mac. Don't worry.
No, but it's coming.
Well, Fleric, it's coming in about a month, so...
Yeah, it's true. I imagine waking up the next day and like, oh, I'm old.
The arthritis.
I'm 30.
I better do my own taxes and like rake my lawn and stuff like that.
Oh,
I'm
I
a grown up now.
I raked yesterday, and my back, my abs, my arms are just dead. I don't recommend it, Fleric. Don't do it.
Don't ever grow up.
I'll let somebody
Cherish
else
this.
talk about this next person.
What, you mean the future Yokozuna?
Aoyama, who we touched on earlier,
I
who
mean-
started 0-2 and is now 6-0.
All right, we talked about him. All right. Kodo Shogiku and Shohozan are putting on some pretty good matches with each other. I think they're both 4-4.
Well, putting on one good match together.
I assume they're gonna have them do it again.
Yeah, they put on an
couple more
excellent
times.
match.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
holy crap.
that not only was it a great match, but these are the only two guys from Fukuoka in the top division, and the crowd lost their mind for that match.
Dude, I
Can't
lost
really
my
blame
mind
them. That was a
watching it.
really fun match.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I'm not saying I blame them, but damn, that was amazing.
You had the pushing, thrusting Shohozan trying to go for the head normally, and then you had Koto Shogiku, who loves to work the Mawashi, just going at each other. That was amazing.
Yeah, two mid-level Megashira in a match on in the early half of the tournament. That seems like something like, why would anyone care? But it was a great match, and being hometown guys, it was fun to to go wild with the crowd there.
All right, and we also have Nishikigi, who has his first taste of the joy. I believe he's 3-5, so not doing terrible, but he is newlywed.
Yeah, and like Chiyanokuni, not turning that new life step into sumo success.
Yeah, you
Poor guy.
got to do good at sumo, so your wife will want to have a baby.
Yeah. I think it was Ikioi who had a wedding coming up out on last basho.
Yeah, he's marrying a golfer.
Yeah, a good golfer. Yeah. She's definitely like the word is she's making a lot more money than him.
Last basho, you're saying?
Yeah, last basho, but
And he went 3-12.
yes, but he learned from that, and they pushed back his wedding to some other time, and so now he's doing a little bit better.
He'll
now,
do
I
good
think.
until then.
Tochi-
3-5.
Tochi Noshin had a baby after
Yeah, he had a baby girl.
January.
It was right after his U show, right?
Okay, so yeah, then he went
I thought
10-5
so.
in the next one. So maybe the theory doesn't quite hold for everybody, but seems
Don't-
like babies and marriages will knock you off your game.
Weird.
Yeah. So let's go down to Juryo, where our boy, our little guy, our Enho, is just lighting it up down there. He is 7-1, tied with Teratsu Yoshi for the Juryo Yusho lead. What do you guys think of Enho? We're seeing all of his matches because Kitama Yama loves him just about as much as we do and throws all of his matches.
Well, because all of his matches are freaking hot fire, amazing.
They have to be. He's
Wild
so
matches.
tiny.
But
Yeah.
that's just it. He's winning. You can clearly see the opponents are literally on top of him. You are wondering how in
And
the
they're
heck-
baffled.
Exactly. How is Enho staying up? And then he just turns the tables. He stays in, and then right at the very end, he's like, nope, slips out of the grasp and thrusts them down. It's amazing.
I really wonder sometimes, and I'm sure there's a very good reason, but like there's a lot of times like Enho's like in really deep on the guys, and so like a guy's entire torso is on top of Enho. Why don't they just fall down on
That's
top
what
of
I
him?
mean. How is this possible?
He's wily. He would just kind of like slip out, and they just belly flop down.
He's got that same thing that we've joked about with Hakuho, where like they're both locked up, they got a grip, and then all of a sudden like nothing happens, but the other guy falls over. Like he's just so talented, and these guys that are way bigger than him just don't know what to do with him.
Yeah, he's just a joy to watch. I absolutely of probably all the matches, like his matches were just fan.
Definitely. And Teretsuyoshi should be noted. Fleric, Mac, Jake, and I all stayed up and watched Juryo a couple nights ago, and we all fell in love with Teretsuyoshi because he takes the biggest handful of salt.
Holy crap.
And just douses the ring in the first 3 rows of people with his big throw of salt.
I literally don't understand the physics of how much salt he can contain in one hand.
Yeah, because it's like a snowball.
Yeah, he made like a ball out of. Oh my god, it was awesome.
Yeah. So we like Teretsuyoshi. We like what's happening down in Juryo right now. A little bit lower than Juryo, we've got Ura is 4-0, making his way back to Makuuchi. He is tied for the lead in the Sandanme division. Musashi Kuni had pulled out of his first match in Makushita, but he has come back on 2-1 since, so he's overall 2-2. Waka Ichiro, unfortunately, back down in, is it Jonidan or Jonikuchi?
Jonidan.
All right. Jonidan, he's unfortunately 1-3, so he's got to turn it around if he wants to try to get back into Sandanme.
He's done a better job in this division in the past. There's a little bit of speculation he might not be at 100%.
Okay. And then our other guys, we got Naya in Sandanme. He's 3-1, trying to make it back into Makushita and trying to win the Makushita Yusho. We've got Hoshoryu, who has started off 4-0. So hopefully he can keep that up and launch up the Makushita rankings and maybe see him in Juryo early part of next year if he can keep it up.
Yeah, and there are only 8 guys at 4-0 in Makushita, so he's definitely in the running.
Yeah, and the way that they do the matchmaking, they're all going to be going up against each other in the coming days.
Only one guy can go 7-0 the way they do the matchmaking.
Yep. All right, so that's going to wrap up our first part of this Basho. We're going to come back, give everybody updates on prediction fantasies, and have a little bit of fun.
I'm so tired of doing my own laundry and making my own chanko. Is life really worth living without the perks of being a top division professional sumo wrestler?
Of course not. That's why you should rent a Tsukebito from Takanohana's Tsukebito Emporium.
Wow, it's former Yokozuna and sumo stablemaster Takanohana.
That's right, it's me, Takanohana, your former Yokozuna and stable master. And now that I'm out of the world of professional sumo, I'm using my skills managing Rikishi to bring convenience and comfort to your home.
Amazing. But Takanohana, what's a Tsukebito?
I'm glad you asked, friend. A Tsukebito is a lower division Rikishi assigned to assist in the daily duties of Sekitori. That's Juryo and Makuuchi divisions of sumo wrestlers. They will take care of that pesky laundry, and they're happy to mix up a big pot of chanko anytime.
Fascinating. Wow, that is a large man folding my laundry.
This is Maru, your new assistant.
I will do my best.
He's working his way up through the lower divisions, but today, he's yours.
Incredible.
Indeed, that will be 5 million yen.
What?
Takanohana's Tsukebito Emporium, where you get to be the Sekitori.
All right, welcome back. We're going to jump into our prediction series updates. And so far, it looks like it's going to be a low-scoring prediction series for us around the board.
For some people.
Well, Fleric has some potential. So Fleric could have a Takayasu Yusho or get a half a point for Jun Yusho. That's looking pretty decent right now. I think unless some like Takakeisho's legs falls off, he's guaranteed a special prize.
He's looking pretty good.
Yeah. Onosho Kachikoshi's looking pretty good. Tamawashi Makikoshi is borderline. So Fleric's looking at around 2.5, 3 points, which
He
will
could
dominate everybody else.
Oh, for sure.
Basho.
But he could get up to 4, which is a great score the way that we have our setting.
Yeah.
Our setup.
Even since it's no Yokozuna, Ryuden being Takayasu, can that count as a Kimboshi too?
No.
I couldn't get my Fusen win, so no.
I've heard that referred to as a Ginboshi with a G because Gin means silver. So it's like a silver star.
Oh.
Like colloquially, not like anything official, but still.
Well, they've been giving away Gin
They've been
Boshis
giving away
left and
Gin
right
Boshis,
this Basho.
Obviously, they're not quite as important or as prestigious, but, cool term that I heard recently.
On the other side of the coin of Fleric scoring a lot of points, we have Mac probably not scoring any points. Mac,
Yeah, probably not.
Mac has Kisei no Sato for a Yusho.
Yep.
Nope. Well, he initially had. Did you initially have Kakuryu?
I initially had Kakuryu.
Oh, that's right. But we had to replace him.
But you had to replace it. So I was like, okay, all right, I'm going to hedge my bets. Come on. Let this be it. No.
Nope.
Didn't happen.
Goedo started 5-3, so probably not a Junior show in his future.
Maybe.
Ryuden is 2-6,
no,
I
no,
believe,
no,
so
no,
no
no.
special prize for him. We've already gone over Tamawashi. Chiyomaru is 2-6. He's probably not going to recover. And
For Makikoshi, Mac picked Miyogiryu. That was
the
your only
closest.
potential point.
I know.
He's at
this.
4-4, but yeah, he's already had a lot of his tough matchups.
But unfortunately for Mac, I got a Kinboshi win with Hokuto Fuji over Kisei no Sato. Like I called on the preview episode, that gives me the tiebreaker. So if somebody else finishes with 1 point, they lose.
And I got a Kinboshi with Tochiozan. So it looks like me and Ryan in the middle. Mac is leading the charge for low score.
Woo!
And Fleric could potentially get a really good score.
All right, Mac, I want to hear 25 high-quality sumo-related knock-knock jokes on the review episode.
Oh, minimum.
I will only bow to the Yokozuna, so you better hope you win.
All right, Fleric, tell him to...
Tell him to 55. No, continue on with what the punishment is. I'm a kind overlord.
Which one do you want?
I just all of the knock knock jokes.
Yeah, how many?
All of them.
100.
All of them. All of them, you say?
Yeah,
Every
I
knock-knock
think I
joke.
did actually mention 50 or so.
You wanted 50?
No,
He'll do 50. So
Don't encourage him.
be
Let's move on.
careful.
Go on.
All right, we'll hash it out later. It's time for some fun facts. And the only person who came prepared with some fun facts this basho was me. And because
Good job, Ryan.
yeah, thank you.
You're keeping us afloat.
I was reading some Tachiai articles, and they had mentioned that when Kisei no Sato started 0-3, that he was one of 7 Yokozuna to start 0-3. Well, not one of 7, because one's done it multiple times, but it's happened 7 times. He since went 0-4, which he is one of 2 people to go 0-4. But I just kind of wanted to go through like what happened with each Yokozuna after they had that start. So we go all the way back to Miyagiyama in January of 1931. This is before they had 6 basho a year, before it was 15 matches in a basho. But he started 0-4. He stuck around for the entire basho, finished at 5-6.
I just want to make the point. The old school Yokozuna started off 0-4, but they stick out the entire basho. Like it used to be where they stuck out and they tried to still stick around and get Kachikoshi.
Are you throwing some shade at Kisei no Sato?
I'm just throwing shade at the expectation of 0-4 and they should get out. I think if they can still pull it together and get Kachikoshis and get good records, even at 0-4.
Well, clearly his knee injury was not allowing him to do so.
We don't know.
Conspiracy.
So
That's
what
a good
happened?
point,
What
though.
was the standard back in the 30s? What happened to him after 5 and 6?
He retired.
Oh, good.
And then we didn't have that happen. We didn't have an 0-3 Yokozuna start happen for 30 years. Then it happened twice to the same Yokozuna in the same year. In May of 1961, Asashio started 0-3 and then pulled out. And then in September of 1961, Asashio started 0-3, pulled out. He did start the next basho. He went 2-5, pulled out of that one, then retired.
Ouch.
So 1961, not a good year for not former Yokozuna, because they're always a Yokozuna. It's like president. You're always Mr. President.
Sure. Mr. Yokozuna.
Yes. Not a good year for Asashio. And then we had to wait another 13 years until Koto Zakura did it in May of 1974. He started 0-3, pulled out, and then retired after that basho. And then didn't have to wait too long, just 6 more basho until Wajima, the recently departed Wajima, in March of 1975. He started 0-3 and then pulled out of that basho. And then he stuck around for 6 more years and won 7 Yusho.
So that one's okay.
Yeah.
You're saying.
There's a chance
all
for
right.
Kisei. There's a chance. And then in January of 1992, we had Asahi Fuji, which I believe is the Oyakata for Haruma Fuji. He's the current Isekahama.
I think you're right.
Yeah. He started 0-3, pulled out of that basho, and then retired after that basho. And so Kisei no Sato has started 0-4, then pulled out. And so that's the first time ever a Yokozuna started 0-4 and then pulled out of a Basho. We have obviously yet to see what the result of that is, but if history, Wajima excluded, he's the one that, the exception that proves the rule. It's probably not too much longer for Kiseno Sato.
Yeah, I don't know. Sad time for sure, but it'll be interesting to see how he handles this. If by the end of the Basho, that's when he would announce the retirement. I think if he did retire,
I don't think we're going to get that announcement.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I think until the end of the Basho,
fades into the distance.
Yeah. Technically, he didn't announce it, so
he just shows up like on the ringside one day in the Shimpan outfit with his haircut.
The Yokozuna, will always
like
be.
a crazy mohawk.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
All right, that's all we got for fun facts. So let's jump into a very quick fantasy and ELO update. Jake?
So fantasy's pretty tight right now. Ryan is winning, and our guest Wata is right behind him by only 1 point. You should check out Wata on Twitter. He posts a lot of highlight videos and things like that are pretty cool. Mac, keep a hold of your stuff. But yeah, like I said, everybody's pretty close. We really don't know where we're going with this particular
anything
one.
in our lives.
With anything in our lives. But this one is kind of up for grabs for everybody except probably Fleric.
I'm pretty sure he'll take the prediction.
His
series
first two
win.
picks were Kiseno Sato and Ichinojo. So yeah, rough one there.
Yeah. Ichinojo. My goodness.
And
Yeah,
now
we didn't really hit on Ichinojo too much, but he's 2-6. He's doing his
Sleepy Sumo.
sleepy sumo, so we'll see if he can turn it around in week 2.
second week Ichinojo.
I guess he could technically still Kachikoshi.
This is what he's done the past 2 Basho, where he starts off with a really bad record week 1 and then just turns it on week 2 and squeaks by with an 8-7.
Doesn't turn
day
it on
15.
too much though.
He wins. Turns it on enough to win.
Yeah. So now the moment that everyone has come to this podcast for. We're talking nerd numbers here. Our sumo power rankings that I had offline for a little bit. I did a revamp and I've made it interactive. So we're going to tweet out a link. You can go and view the numbers for everybody. I have back to the beginning of 2017 is when I started the numbers. But the interactive part, you can now view the current power rankings on a graph of up to 8 different wrestlers. And that's free for anybody who goes to the link to use. So feel free to play around, see where everybody's at, and see what the numbers are. Currently, no surprise, Takakeisho's in the lead. He's the only guy over 1,100, which is kind of like the elite Yusho race kind of cutoff. Takayasu and Goedo are very quickly behind him.
All right, what do you guys think about a lightning round? Let's do a lightning round.
Grand Sumo Breakdown patent pending lightning round.
All right, Mac, who has impressed you the most so far in this Basho?
Does it have to be from Makuuchi?
No.
Awesome. Enho.
Nice.
I'm just saying, like, watching his matches, there's no way you think he's going to win. And then he just pulls out a win. It's amazing.
It's so much fun.
Oh, that's crazy. Picking someone from Jurio? Oh, man.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. I did it.
No, I'm going to totally pick Enho, too.
Okay,
I
thank you.
love his matches. Oh, my goodness. They're so good and exciting. I want more.
I'm going to take the low-hanging bowling ball and pick Takakeisho. I mean, it's kind of the easy pick here.
Yeah, I'm also going with Takakeisho. He's already beaten the Soul Yokozuna. He injured the Soul Yokozuna. He's beaten Ozeki. He's beaten Sekewake. And he's leading the Basho, so clearly Takakeisho has been the most impressive. Fleric, on the other side of the coin, who has disappointed you the most so far? Am I using that coin thing a little too
There's
much this
4 of
Basho?
us, but I guess you can kind of make it work.
Four-side die.
Or you're using it too much?
Yeah, I've already used it twice, and I don't think I used it once in the history of this podcast before.
Keep it going. We can get a few
It's all
more
right.
in.
It's all right.
I think it's on my mind to follow up on something in the preview episode. The Kansas City Chiefs lost a coin toss.
Oh, that's right.
They started 4-0 winning the coin toss in preseason, 9-0 in the season winning the coin toss. They won 13 straight coin tosses. They finally lost one. I think that's why it's on my
But
mind.
did they win the game?
Yes.
Who cares? The coin toss.
Wait.
Sorry, Fleric, who's disappointed you the most this Basho besides me?
Oh, yeah.
Besides Ryan.
Oh, you took the words right out of my mouth. No, I've been kind of defending him, but I will actually say Kiseno Sato for me. This was a big Basho for him. Like, if he would have actually came out with some wins, no one would be having this conversation. And they would say, oh, he's Yokozuna. He's going to be doing fine. But unfortunately, he didn't pull it out. So a little disappointed by the guy, I will say.
Jake?
I'm going to say Chiyomaru just, I mean, he hasn't had super important matches so far, but he's at 2-6 in the very bottom spot of Makuuchi. Really, really wanted him to stick around, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Yeah, I got to go with Tochinoshin. He was my Yusho pick for this one. It seemed like he was coming in fully healthy, and he probably is fully healthy. It's just people are not letting him get to the Mawashi, and if he can't get to his opponent's Mawashi, it doesn't really seem like he has a good plan for how to get them out. So he's got a 4-4 record, but for somebody that I was expecting a Yusho out of, it's very disappointing. How about you, Mac?
I can't say it. Jake said it. I can't say it. I don't want to.
I took the fall for you. You can say someone else.
No,
you can pretend that it's otherwise.
No, because it weighs heaviest on my heart. It is Chiyomaru.
Weighs heaviest on a lot of things. Wherever he is weighing the heaviest on it.
Right, you are, Jake.
All right, Jake, what has been your favorite match of the Basho so far?
I have had a lot of them, so I've struggled a lot with picking one. I got to say Shohoza Koto Shogoku. We mentioned it before, but it was a wild match. There was some great grappling, but the crowd going nuts just added so much to it. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I have to go with day 2 for Chiyoshoma versus Dayamami. It wasn't a particularly long match. It was back and forth for a little while, and then Chiyoshoma pulled out the Keikaishi leg trip kick thing that you always see Chiyoshoma going for trips and kicks in his matches, and he finally landed one perfectly. Just took out Dayamami's leg out from under him and face planted him. So that was my favorite match so far.
Likewise with Jake again, Goto Shogoku Shohozan, getting just that insane amount of intensity and the crowd getting into it. Man, that the energy was palpable. I loved it.
Can I pick all of Enho's matches?
You can pick one of Enho's matches.
All right. So I really love his, I believe it was day 6 versus Joe Koryu, I believe.
That sounds like a person in jury.
Yeah, that was just right. You disappointed me even more, Ryan.
You flustered him.
No, but I remember that match being very, very awesome. I love that one a lot.
All right, and let's go to me for the most exciting potential matchup. Sorry, Jake. Takayasu versus Takakesho.
Oh, no, I picked that one.
I think for...
I picked that one, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me for?
Yeah, that's obvious. It's the leader in the clubhouse right now, Takakesho, versus probably the most likely contender coming after the Yusho title. So obviously, Takayasu versus Takakesho. Be very interested to see how that one turns out. More importantly, Flerick, what did you think of the Detective Pikachu trailer?
Oh, that one? I thought it looks pretty dumb, but damn, I'm going to watch it.
Oh, come on. Ryan Reynolds' voice as Pikachu doesn't sway you one way or the other?
No, not at all. It was Pikachu that swayed me.
No, it's the voice of Deadpool. Just envision Deadpool coming through Pikachu channeling his inner Deadpool.
I still need to watch Deadpool, too. I should probably.
Come on, Flerick.
Okay, even I've watched it, and I'm so far behind in my Marvel movies.
Behind.
Yeah.
I have watched Deadpool, too.
Mac,
Okay.
how do you feel about Detective Pikachu?
I'm more excited for the Squirtle. Did you not see the Squirtle?
I saw the Squirtle.
The Squirtle is my favorite Pokemon.
For
was a
me
pretty awesome
personally,
Pokemon.
No, thank you.
as a fan of Pokemon since the beginning in 1998, I have forever wanted to see a live-action Pokemon movie with realistic Pokemon.
Have you?
I have. I really have.
Okay. Yeah, bull.
And
Bull.
kind of regretting it now because those are some creepy... Like that Psyduck looks off.
Don't they always look off?
Jigglypuff looks very creepy. Mr. Mime is
Yeah.
Mr. Mime, and so obviously he looks very creepy.
Okay, but that scene was cool. Come on.
It's
you
like
had to
the
admit.
uncanny valley almost. Like,
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Like Pikachu's hairy. Like I've never seen a hairy
Ugh.
Pikachu. He's adorable, but like Pikachu's hairy.
He's a mouse Pokemon, right? So I
Yeah.
mean, he should have hair.
But like he's always just portrayed as like the smooth. Like all of them
Animated.
are just portrayed
Yeah.
as smooth skin. But to say something that I think I put on Twitter, even if I knew that this movie was going to be as bad as Dragon Ball Evolution, I'm still going to see it 100% opening day 3 times.
What do you mean bad?
Huh?
It was
right.
a really bad. Jake, take
Okay.
off your love for Dragon Ball.
I don't understand what the problem was with Dragon Ball Evolution.
Wait, hold it. What's Dragon Ball Evolution?
Did you not know
What are
there
you
was
up
a
to later,
live-action
Mac?
Dragon Ball movie?
No,
I have
there
something
was?
for you, Mac.
What do I want to know?
I think before we wrap this one up, we should make sure to thank Josh on Twitter for bringing this one up to make sure that it was a topic on this very important podcast.
I just want to make sure we don't forget Ryan's hyperbole of watching the Pikachu movie 3 days on the opening day. We're holding you to that.
I can make it happen.
I know.
We know, yeah.
Yeah.
And we expect it now.
It's okay. We've got until 2019. Everybody will forget about this.
All right. I think you were talking about Josh, right?
Oh, no, I was just mentioning he was the one who brought it up on Twitter, and it's a good thing because otherwise it may not have used up valuable time on our podcast.
Right. And
So valuable.
one more question for the lightning round. Mac, who's going to win?
Takayasu.
Takayasu.
Takakeisho, just to be contrary.
What does your heart say?
Takayasu.
There we go.
My heart says Takakeisho. This is a Mitakayumi of Nagoya type run that we're seeing right now.
Not the Mitakayumi of Kyushu.
Or any other Mitakayumi. No, I'm going with Takakeisho, and it's lightning round, so I'm going to leave it at that.
Yep.
All right. We got a new segment. We sent out thing on Twitter asking people to ask us questions.
It's your fault.
Yeah, it's your fault for whatever we talk about here. So the very poorly named, not clever at all, Ask GSB segment.
We're working on that.
How unoriginal.
We're working on that.
Yeah, it'll probably stay that forever because we're very lazy.
Ask GSB. What do they know? Do they know things?
Let's find
Let's
out.
find out.
If we just keep saying we're working on it, then we can put it off.
Yeah. All right, so our first one came from Bruce Henderson. We had him on the podcast back in March. He's one of the guys over at the Tachiai blog. He actually sent us a lot of questions, but we got enough response.
Several of which were like college essay level.
Yes.
In-depth, difficult. Yeah.
And-
So well done, Bruce, but
and
we're going to
because
take
of
an
that-
easy one.
Yeah, we're going to do a bonus episode to answer the rest of the questions. But the one that we're going to take, which top guys will retire or be relegated by the end of 2020? We'll start with Jake.
One guy that comes to mind first for this one is Tamawashi. He has been a Sekiwake before, and he had kind of like a late career peak, but I think that peak is probably ending. I think that he's a guy. He's one of the oldest guys in.
It's like
in the
34,
top division.
36.
Bringing it up, yeah, he's 34, which is, that's a couple years past where most people hit their peak, and I don't think he's long for the top division, but I could be wrong because he did peak pretty late in his career, but the last couple Basho have shown that he's kind of losing that Sekiwake level talent that he had originally.
What about you, Flick?
I'm going to go with Kota Shokiku. He's kind of been slowly falling down to Bansuke. And as a former Ozeki, once he gets to I don't think he's going to stick around to Makushita.
You don't think he's going to do the Teranofuji route?
I don't think so.
He's not going to be the second one ever to do that?
Yeah, I don't think that he's going to do that one. So I think probably sometime soon next year he's going to retire.
For me, I'm thinking Kakuryu. I'm thinking he's going to do well.
I
Maybe
think
next
we
year
need
a
to
little
go
bit.
to the playground and
Those
fight
are
a little
fighting
bit.
words.
I'm just
Under
saying.
the swing set
I'm
at
just
noon.
saying that he's put up some great numbers in the past. Love seeing him, but he is getting more and more injured.
2 U-shows and tied for most wins of the year coming
So my
into
thought
his
is
Basho.
end with a bang. Do well next year. Have a stellar performance next year. End on a high note. Nobody can look back at your career and say, "Oh, no, Kakuryu, too bad." Instead of, "Holy crap, Kakuryu, look at that."
I mean, people do forget before this whole Kisei no Sato business, we were looking at do well or retire thing for Kakuryu at the end of last year. And
then he shut us right up.
He won 2 straight
Indeed he
U-shows.
did.
So we weren't the ones saying perform or retire. That was the Yokozuna Deliberation Council. So
Yeah, those people are dumb.
So I think maybe of his own volition.
I wouldn't have wanted Kakuya to retire either.
I can't believe that we went all the way around the table before this name came up. Kisei no Sato.
That was
Well, because we spent like 20 minutes on it earlier.
Exactly.
Well,
We
yeah,
need to touch
and
on
I'm
it
going to
again.
be the right person. So Kisei no Sato is who I think will
You know
retire.
what? I think Omnishiki might retire too by 2020.
That's a good point. He very well
but
might.
he's not top division. I was
doesn't
going to
necessarily
say.
say
I was
top
going to
division.
say
He's top
Omnishiki, but
division
it
in
was
my
like,
heart.
We also have Takekaze, the only other
39, 38?
something like that. But yeah, he's the only other guy, the only other Sekitori born in the 70s,
Oh, wow.
other than Amanishiki, who he's not quite as old as. But yeah, those guys are definitely running out of time.
All right, and our buddy Josh on Twitter sent us a few questions as well, including, will Abi grab the Mawashi at all this Basho?
no.
No.
There was one brief moment, I can't remember which match it was, but somebody was already on their way down and he touched it briefly.
That doesn't count.
But
I
yeah.
imagine his hand flew off it immediately.
was not a Kimura day? That
Because
doesn't
it
count.
I assume the Mawashi burns when he touches it, which is why he is all about the pushing thrusting.
it's so hot.
It burns us.
All right, and another one we got from Josh. Is 10,000 miles between oil changes using modern synthetics realistic?
Well, actually, it depends on the weight of the motor oil, depends on the vehicle, depends on the mileage of the vehicle, and how well you're maintaining the internal parts of the vehicle itself.
That's a very wishy-washy answer there, Mac.
Well, it depends. There's a lot that can go into actually changing the oil.
The
Depends
short
on
story,
that.
though, is
Yeah.
that it's possible, but it might not be the best idea without a little bit of professional research into
GSP
it.
Well, of
does
course, it
not
also depends on
endorse.
the size of the vehicle, depends on how much you drive
Yeah.
it, depends on how much you use it. I mean, there are a lot of factors that go
So
into that.
maybe.
Maybe.
Hashtag go 10,000 miles or 20,000 miles.
And
Who
if you
cares?
break down, it's not our fault.
All right. At Damoon Rules asked us, would you take Hakuho versus the 87 Chicago Bears versus 87 Bears? Now, I can only assume he meant the 1985 Chicago Bears that went 15-1 and won the Super Bowl, and not the 1987 Bears who went 11-4 and lost in the first round of the playoffs.
Wait, he's not just talking about 85 Bears and then 87 Bears, like just in different numbers?
No, he's asking Hakuho versus the I'm going to assume 85 Chicago Bears, that football team, the monsters of the Midway,
Yeah.
versus
the
85
writers of the
Bears.
Super Bowl Shuffle.
Yes. Versus 85 Bears.
What kind of bear?
That's a good
I
question.
assume grizzly.
Not a Kodak?
I assume grizzly.
Okay.
If they are panda bears, I think Hakuho's chances are increased significantly because the pandas will just sit around and not mate, and then Hakuho wins.
Just sit around eating the bamboo.
I don't know. I think I got to take the 85 Bears because only one of those teams has Mike Ditka leading it.
Ditka.
That's fair. I'm also going to have to go with the 85 Bears because it's 85 Bears. That's more than one Hakuho and more than 53 people that make up the football team, the 85 Bears.
But no, Jake went
I
with
didn't
the
say
football
that.
team.
I said yes, the football team.
Yeah, I know, but I also went
This
with
is a
85
really
Bears.
confusingly worded question.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed it is.
Flair, clear this all up for us.
Or are these Bears wearing Mawashis?
No, Hakuho cannot get a grip.
That's yeah. And everyone knows that he prefers Yatsusumo to Oshisumo.
No, he
Yeah.
will slap the face. He'll just discombobulate the bears and win.
Can't imagine how many he can do that to a bear. Yes, but to 85 Bears.
He's a Yokozuna. He can do what he damn well pleases.
Also, the 1985 Chicago Bears are wearing helmets.
Yes, and he will smack the helmet to the side. Oh, look, the bears can't see. Dead. Done.
I don't think
Yes,
football
we all
helmets
know
can
that
rotate
football
in the head.
players die
With
as
the
soon
amount-
as they no longer have the ability to
With
see.
the amount of force Hakuho can exhibit, I believe in Hakuho.
Go 85 Bears.
All right, Flair
Yes.
is taking 85 Bears. Which one? It's up to you.
Listener's choice.
Yeah. That's about all we've got. We got a lot more questions that were asked of us. We're going to answer all of those on a bonus episode.
Specifically the pro wrestling related ones.
Exactly.
Because those are the best kind of questions.
But that's going to be it for our Midway episode. So if you enjoy this podcast, you can give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast listening service.
You can find us on Facebook and Twitter, Grand Sumo Breakdown.
You can check out our blog, grandsumobreakdown.wordpress.com, where we have our updated interactive power rankings.
If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, give us a call at 805-613-7866. That's 805-613-SUMO, or drop us a line at grandsumobreakdown@gmail.com.
All right, we will see you for our review episode. And honestly, who knows what's going to be happening at that point in time?
Fair enough. Happy
Right.
Thanksgiving.
Jake,
Yeah.
what's Dragon Ball Evolution?
Yeah, let's get to that.
Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown.
Until next time.
Throw your salt high.
And keep moving forward.